How can you raise more money for your nonprofit this year? In this video, I'm going to go through 5 proven methods to grow your nonprofit's income. And you know what that means. I'm talking more fundraising dollars for your organization to carry out your mission. Are you ready? Well, let's skip the small talk and dive right in. Method number 1 is to pick up the phone. Oftentimes, we focus so much on getting donors in, and then we're victims of constant donor churn. Instead, we should be focusing more on moving donors up the donor ladder. And this all starts with genuine connection. And the first step is to go ahead and identify your mid-tier donors. Now, for every organization, what is the definition of a mid-tier donor is different. But when you look at your whole donor pyramid and where people are donating, I'm talking in the middle. So if you're looking to raise more money for your organization, start by defining and then identifying your mid-tier donors. Then make a list of 50 to 100 of them and call them. Call them to say thank you, call them to just say hello. And then when you're ready for your next ask, call them, let them know what's going on, and let them know what you're asking of them. Now, here's a special tip. After you make that first call, send a handwritten card to anyone you actually talk to. What does this do? This helps you develop what I hope to be a sincere, authentic relationship with your donor in the hopes of moving them up the donor ladder. This sincere relationship, coupled with ongoing communication via mail, email, and social media, will ensure that donor is retained. A sincere, nurtured relationship with your donors who know and care about your organization is your best step at not only reducing donor churn and moving donors up the donor ladder, but of ensuring you have advocates that will continue to support your mission, not just this year, but in the years to come. And you know that tactic where you researched and identified, not from your brain, but by looking at your donor database, who your mid-tier donors are, and then you called them, and then you followed up with a letter, and then you communicated in order to retain them. And then much later, maybe 3 to 6 months later, you're picking up the phone for a direct ask. That is donor cultivation. Now, fundraising coaches love to overcomplicate it, but it really is that simple. Awesome. So you've gotten in the habit of picking up the phone, and now we're going to take a step back. My second method I recommend to you to raise more money for your organization is just to focus on donor stewardship and relationship building. This is for all donors, whether you're a first-time donor, a potential donor, a major giver already. Focus on every interaction you have with them being authentic and relational. Make sure that you are always focused on educating and expressing genuine gratitude. Now, this is where marketing, my forte, really comes in. You really need to get your supporters involved in the journey of your organization. And if you don't have strategic, targeted social media and email marketing in place and a marketing plan, you're already behind the 8 ball when it comes to fundraising for your organization. So get that strategic marketing in place and make sure that every engagement you have with a donor is sincere and relational. And let's pull in some philosophy. Let's treat our donors or any potential donor not as a means to an end, but an end upon themselves. The third method you can use to level up your fundraising this year is to focus on diversifying your funding streams. Now, let's be honest. If you're a grant-funded organization, I've been there, I've led them, that is entirely dependent on state and federal funds, you are entirely reliant on whatever money comes in the door and whatever restrictions the government sets each year. Now, if you're entirely reliant on restricted state and federal grants, this really does inhibit your ability to fully carry out your mission. A fiscally strong nonprofit has a combination of income sources, whether that be grant, annual fund, major givers, planned giving, fundraising events. There are a lot of different pieces that come together to make up your organization's income. And if it's not already, what you need to do is really focus on analyzing what you have in front of you and where your revenue streams are, and focus on opportunities to grow certain income streams. Now, after you've done that audit and have really identified opportunities for growth, I beg of you, make sure If you have new goals and new fundraising outcomes you want to see, you have the resources, manpower, and ability to diversify those income streams. Don't do what we tend to do at nonprofits and just keep dumping more onto the same person's to-do list without removing anything. To that end, one thing that doing an income audit and then focusing on opportunities for growth does is it allows you to really assess what is our current manpower and are we using to the best of our abilities to an end goal. And focusing on diversifying funding streams is so important because, as we've seen, with a constantly changing economy and a constantly changing world, we want to make sure we don't have to jump to whatever those external changes are and we're diversified enough to stay strong and carry out our mission. The fourth method is to focus on storytelling. Now, my entire mission is to help nonprofit professionals like you level up your marketing and storytelling online, so I could nerd out about this all day. I do recommend you check out the marketing playlist that has lots of resources about how to do effective storytelling. But if your target donors are millennials like me, then you really, really need to focus on storytelling. We give and we buy and we act in alignment with brands and people we trust. And telling effective, honest, transparent stories is the best way to establish trust with potential donors like me. Now, if you want to learn more about how exactly to elicit those goosebumps, we do a storytelling workshop within Social Propel, and you can catch it in the link below, that talks all about not just how to elicit goosebumps, but gives you a framework for writing a nonprofit story. One of the things I will tell you to do if you're focused on leveling up your fundraising or raising more money is to invest in authentic pictures and video of your organization. Here's what that doesn't mean. That doesn't mean hire a $5,000 videographer for one video you're going to show at your gala. That's not the ROI I'm talking about. Now, it's great if you have that on your budget. That's what you've always been doing. But a better ROI is to use that $5,000, partner with a contractor, social media agency, or better yet, invest in your current staff to help them learn how to capture effective photo and video so that you can continue to do your marketing. One cool hack I just learned from Natalie Beck, who's the president of the Heart of Illinois Community Foundation, when they were starting to get more authentic pictures that then they used for their website and social media for a while, they partnered and invested with the local camera club to purchase or get some of the images that had already been captured or created so that they could have authentic images of their community. Big picture, investing doesn't mean dumping a bunch of money at a one-time thing. Investing really means what can we do consistently to up-level our skills and up-level our marketing to set a new trajectory in terms of authentic storytelling. Why is storytelling so important? Now, when people feel the direct impact, they're more likely to add a zero to their next donation. And that's what storytelling does. Now, my fifth method I recommend to raise more money this year is to make sure your digital marketing fundraising platforms are up to par. One of the things I constantly hear from nonprofits who don't have an abundance mindset, and I would argue really just don't get it, is we can't use that processing platform because it takes out a fee. I'm talking things like GiveButter or DonorDoc that typically take out anywhere from a 2.3 to 4% fee for every donation that comes in. I would like to ask these leaders, what's 2.9% of nothing? You are leaving money on the table if you do not really invest in an easy to use, accessible way to get money online. And I would argue if you don't invest in developing out a fundraising funnel for your organization, it's not just about giving season campaigns and all the campaigns. It's about making sure whenever someone happens to feel inspired to donate, they know how to do it and it's less than 3 clicks from your homepage. I hope those 5 methods were helpful for you as you continue to level up your fundraising for your organization this year. Make sure to subscribe below so we can continue to nerd out about marketing and storytelling online. See you next week.